This week, we look at the town of Tonasket, Washington, where a jealous wife took matters into her own hands. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
We could not be more excited, as usual, to be here with you folks today. We're always excited for this.
Of course.
How can you not be?
This is the best thing ever.
We have murder on the docket. That's always a good thing. Well, not for people who have been murdered, but for people who are interested in hearing about murder.
Yes.
Just want to, first off, they're in the right place. Want to thank everyone for their iTunes reviews this week. Thank you guys so much. You guys have come through so huge for us.
Unbelievable.
What a big week. It was amazing, and we can't thank you enough. It really, I can't describe to you how much that helps us business-wise. It just does. I know it takes 30 seconds, but it helps us, 30 hours worth of
it's ridiculous.
For
it really
30
is.
seconds. It is. It's so ridiculous. So thank you so much. And if you haven't yet, got to remind you again, please get on iTunes and give us 5 stars. Say anything you want.
Yeah.
Anything. The sun is bright and hot. We're fine.
Say James sounds tired today.
Yes, because James is exhausted.
James is in the middle of a comedy weekend.
Yes. I'm in the middle of being at a club, and I was there till all hours of the night, and I have to go do more shows tonight after that. So it's I'm cooking, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm happy to be here. I'm pumped. So
he still brought you murder. How sweet is that?
We still have murder.
He's working his ass off at the comedy club, and he still brings you murder. What a guy.
I don't need sleep. Who needs sleep? You can probably hear it in my voice.
Sleep when you're murdered.
Yes, exactly, which will, I'm sure, happen eventually here. If we keep doing these podcasts, someone's going to kill us. But yes, the iTunes reviews are huge. Thank you so much. If the iTunes reviews are not enough for you, and you're such a helpful person, and you like us so much that you need to do more.
Got to go above and beyond.
You can do more.
Yeah.
You can go on patreon.com/crimeinsports. That's our other podcast, and make a donation there. All that money goes to us, and that would be extremely helpful. Like we said, we took all the ads off the front and stuff like that, so we'd rather be beholden to you guys, basically. So that would be wonderful if you guys could help us out there. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can go to PayPal. Our PayPal is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one.
So you can do that. So whatever you want to do. Either way, you can do that. And if you don't want to do anything, if you're like, screw these guys.
Not a fan of that.
Sit back, listen to some murder, and that's fine. That's cool. And we hope you don't get murdered, even though you might deserve it for not helping us out at all. But that's fine. That's fine. It's cool. We're all right with that. Before we get started, just have to do our normal disclaimer. Yes, I know.
I hate it. But we have to.
We have to, because otherwise people don't get it. They don't read in the description that this is comedy, and they're just like, why are they making jokes? Because it's a comedy podcast, and you should expect that.
Or they take bullshit jabs at you. You're such a comedian. Fuck you.
Yeah.
All right, fuck you.
So basically, this is a comedy podcast. The facts are real. The cases are real. The research, trust me, I haven't slept in days, is real. So it's nothing like that, but we make jokes. We never make jokes at the expense of the victims, at the expense of the victims' families. That's not what we're trying to do here. The jokes mainly come at the expense of small towns, because we're all from a small town, and they all suck.
They're all shit.
They're all shit, and everybody can make fun of, come on, either that or a bumbling police force or a murderer who's an asshole and deserves to be made fun of.
Absolutely.
Either way, but it's all good. If that's fine with you, if you're into that and you're like, that sounds good, stick around. We're happy to have you on board. And if not,
who we're talking to.
Yes, you're the person. If not, if you think that true crime and comedy never ever belong together, then this isn't for you.
No,
and we thank you very much for giving us a shot, and we shake hands and smack you on the ass and say, have a good one. Been our pleasure. Have a good one. And yes, now that we've told everyone not to listen, let's get right into this, Jimmy. What do you say?
Let's
do this. We're headed to the town of Tonasket, Washington today.
I will ask it.
Ooh, the Northwest. Yeah. Don't ask it. Don't ask it. Don't tell it, Washington.
Right.
Tonasket, Washington. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, because I've never pronounced anything right in my entire life. So last week,
those are my favorite tweets, though.
Last week, the town was El Dorado.
Yeah.
It's spelled like El Dorado. There's a goddamn car called an El Dorado that's spelled like that. They're like, actually, it's El Dorado. No, it's not. It's El Dorado, because you spelled it like that. Sorry.
Put a Y in it if you want us to say it like that.
You can't name your town an established word and then pronounce it different and get mad at me for not knowing it. You can't do that. I'm sorry.
We live in Pahonix, Arizona.
That's what I mean. Yes. Australia, Melbourne is Melbourne, because that's what it fucking says. I'm sorry. Name it something else if you want it to be Melbourne. Then name it Melbourne. Don't fucking name it Melbourne. Sorry. Good God. The born identity isn't the born identity. It's fucking born. So, sorry. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, Tonasket, Washington. Let's do this. It is in the north-central part of the state. It's right up by Canada, 20 miles from the Canadian border.
All right.
In the middle of nowhere. Middle of nowhere. It's 4 hours from Seattle, 4.5 hours to Tacoma.
Where Bigfoot lives.
This is where you would go looking for Bigfoot. And and you might find him. I'm not sure in this town. You will at least find a couple of assholes because we're going to talk about them and a horrible murder. Actually, 4 horrible murderers.
Jesus, really?
We have a. This is
a multi this week.
Oh yeah, this is a twisted little story we have. But Tonasket, it's in Okanagan County, which is a hell of a name for a county. But it's
close to Canada. That makes sense.
It's a Native American word, so I don't know what it means.
Same
it's not
thing.
Like they didn't make that up anyway.
Canadians, Native Americans, same people.
Absolutely not. Their origin is right in the name. Is that it's not the same people.
Discovered oil everywhere.
Yes, all over Florida, as Jimmy knows. Zip code here is 98855, area code 509. It's a very small town. It's 0.80 square miles.
Oh goodness!
It's a very small town, really tiny. It's basically started because the Northwest, obviously we're not going to have history back to 1645 or anything, like if we're doing a Massachusetts town or something like that. Really, people didn't start moving there outside of the natives that lived there to begin with, obviously, till the late 1800s, right around turn of the century, with 1900. They actually had a post office in 1901. Oh. They got their first post office. That's something. Yeah. The place was platted in 1910, which means they mapped it out and drew out lots and, that whole thing. They, whatever. I don't know what the hell you...
Surveyed it.
Surveyed. There you go. Platted is the official term, apparently.
Gotcha.
It's officially incorporated in 1927. Okay. It's named after Chief Tonasket of the Okanagan tribe. Okay. So that's
so they got some history in the natives there.
Yeah, so that's good. At least they honored who was there. They didn't just kick them out and call it this is Brown.
This is now Williamsburg. Because I am William.
Exactly. That's better. This is Elder and Rito, and we're going to call it Elder Rito, but we're going to pronounce it El Dorado and spell it El Dorado. It's not that anyway. That's better. So.
I love how pissed you get at that. Pronunciations are so fucking stupid.
It drives me nuts.
To stick to them, I get it. You're getting it right. But listen, I'm going to do my best, and that's all you're getting out of me.
Well, I apologize if it's something where I'm like, I messed up on that one. But if it's spelled El Dorado, you don't get to call it a different name. You just don't get to make up your own pronunciation for it. Sorry, because that's not how it works.
Awesome.
Name your town El Dorado if you want to pronounce it that way. Anyway, it was basically it's a hub of agricultural. A lot of forestry because it's in Washington in the middle of nowhere.
There's trees fucking everywhere.
Yes. Like even up till now, it's the location of 3 major fruit storage and processing facilities.
Oh, really?
So that's what seems like if you live there, you could work at the fruit processing and storage plant
and probably be killing it
and probably be crushing it. Yeah. Maybe not though, as we'll get into the economics of this area. I don't think anyone's killing it that much here.
They're at least killing 4 people.
That's it. Yeah, it's located on a river. It's the Okanagan River there, and so it's where towns come from. They're always on rivers, or if there's oil there.
There's got to be oil or water source.
Absolutely,
oil to sell and buy water, or water there just to harvest.
Definitely. Now people stayed there, which is the weird thing. There's like generations of people. They go there, they don't want to leave there. They like it there, which is, I guess, good.
Or it's a historic thing with their tribe that they're like it means something to them. You know what I mean? Just like being in that piece of land.
Yeah. I mean, even the white people that go there.
Oh,
stay
really?
There.
They just stick around.
Yeah.
Like we're your people now.
Absolutely. Population of this town right now is 1,016.
Now.
1,000
people in a square mile.
1,016.
That's all they got.
In a square mile. Not much going on. And it's been pretty much the same. I mean, in 1950, it had 957 people. Okay. So that tells you
they got 50 people in 50 years.
That's it.
They're averaging a person a year. That's amazing.
One person per year. Not bad, guys. Not bad. You're really reeling them in. Good job, Tonasket. This is actually up 20% since 2000, which isn't that much because there's no people
nobody
there. So
that's
not
easy.
a lot. Yeah, it's the population's a little odd in the terms of the male-female breakdown.
Yeah.
It's 58.5% female.
Wow,
that is way above. It's normally like 51%.
Yeah.
That's the highest we've seen either direction.
Yeah, that's true.
That's weird. Like,
great to be a single dude there.
Yeah, are people going out like fur trapping and getting killed in the woods by Bigfoot? Is it all Bigfoot hunters?
Or just
What's going on?
Something there's in the water that creates a lot of female babies.
Just a shitload of X chromosomes? Yeah. Like, I don't understand it. What is going on here?
Lots of fucking, what is that shit that women have?
Estrogen, I think is what you're going for. Oil, Jimmy. It's
what
oil.
What is that shit that women have? Wow.
That shit that women have.
God, that sounded so arrogant and dumb.
That's a medical term, actually. Jimmy looked it up in a medical book, and it
says
said
the shit they have.
Yeah, New England Journal of Medicine, I believe. So it was just. I read an article recently about that shit that women have, and I think they called it estrogen in the end. I think that was the
thing. Jesus.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm so dumb.
No, that's not dumb. That's ignorant, but not dumb. Yeah. I think there's a big difference. Now, married population.
And then I
here.
said that sounds arrogant. Yes. I meant to say ignorant.
It's okay, maybe you are dumb. Fine.
I'm dumb.
All right, Jimmy, you're dumb. Fine. You win. I give up.
I make a solid case for my stupidity.
I surrender. I surrender. That's perfect, man.
All right, go on.
The married population here is way lower than normal. There's a lot of things kind of out of whack in the population. You find this a lot with the smaller town. If it's just a little wave of some marriage or non-marriage, and the numbers are all skewed because there's not enough people.
Right.
So there's only 36% are married. It's 51% is the average nationally. So
well, if you were a dude there and you got 58% women, you don't want to get married either. There's women everywhere.
There's women everywhere, and there isn't enough. It's not even enough for everybody to get married either. Singles, so obviously single people are over 63%, which is a lot. The now married population is only 34%, which is
awesome.
Very low. Yeah, never married is actually lower. So there's a lot of divorced people.
Okay.
And a lot of the divorce rate's there's twice as many divorced as average.
Okay.
And widows, there is about 4 times the average of widows here.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of females. Maybe that's what it is. We'll get into this, into the age breakdown, but that's, older females. Females tend to outlive their husbands, so that's what you end up with here.
There you go.
So with the marriage numbers being lower, married with children, married with no children, all those numbers are much lower, all that sort of thing. The age here, the median age is 46.7, which is about 10 years older than the national average. And when you look at the age breakdowns, the 0 to 4-year-old child age group is about average, and then every single age group until you get to 55 to 59 is under average.
Wow.
Is below average.
So there's a bunch of old people.
It's a bunch of old people. All higher after that. Twice the amount of people 75 to 84 years old. 3 times the amount of 85 and older.
Holy shit.
So now we're kind of seeing why there's less married people and more widows and more females and all that sort of thing.
People.
It's all skewing very, very old.
They better be careful. They're going to kill this town.
This town could die very easily. I swear.
What do you like to say? One surprise or
a cheeseburger, dead.
The whole fucking town.
I don't know if it's that or just anything. One flu outbreak, or one, hey, strep throat's going around.
Right.
All the old ladies
Grandma
are going to die.
sneezes in a canasta and everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead. Yeah, they all hole up in their cabins, afraid of disease and Bigfoot and who knows what else is lurking out there. It's craziness. So the racial breakdown here, 75% white, which it's about 13% more than the average. 0.76% black, so not a lot of black people there. It's 12% is the average, which doesn't surprise me in this town, to be honest with you. 0.42% Asians, that is well below the 5% average. It's Hispanic, 13%. That's almost there.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what. Maybe they know about fruit. I don't know. That's not racist. That's literally. I don't know why else anybody would be there unless they're like they have a particular predilection toward caring for stored fruit. I have no idea what they're doing there.
Or they're harvesting it or something. That's a huge agricultural thing with the Spanish culture.
It's forestry.
They're so good at it.
It's true.
They can
dominated the
That's
industry.
true.
Yeah, they can grow some shit. Good for you guys.
They make avocados better than everybody else. I'll tell you that now.
True, man. It's true. The religious breakdown here, only about 33% of the people consider themselves religious, which is lower than the 50% average. It's a few Catholics. I assume that's the Hispanics that are there with that are the Catholics. Otherwise, spread around different forms of Christianity. 0.0% Jewish, 0.0% Muslim, as is per usual in these towns.
Jesus.
So we know there'll be violence.
Yes.
42% Democrats and 54% Republican in this small town, which is Washington State's a very Democratic state, but I guess the small towns
tend to skew to the Republican
skew a little
side,
right usually, unless they're
that's just a little skew too, because being in Washington,
that's 10 people too.
Right.
20 more people are this, and it skews
and it
the
goes
whole
the
thing.
other way. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the economy in this place could you do a little better? We'll say 37% of the people make under $15,000 a year.
My goodness,
37%.
But there's a lot of old people, and
there's
that's
a lot
fixed
of old
income
people.
shit.
Yeah, that's
so
3 times the average, which they have, higher the average old people, which is fine. But then when you get into this, 77% of the people make less than $35,000 a year.
My goodness,
that's not just old.
That's mixing those together is 90%.
That's so bad. No, that's included. The 37's included in the
37. Okay, all right.
So 77% total make less than $35,000 a year.
That's crazy.
That is remarkable. 1.2% make between $100,000 and $150,000, and 1.5% make over $200,000.
That's how do they even distribute that kind of money? How do they even generate that much?
Only 6% of the people there make over $75,000 a year.
That's crazy.
6%. So it's a very kind of economically depressed area. It seems like
that's the most have and have-nots that I've ever heard of.
It is. It really is. There's just no haves.
No.
There's like 2 halves.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that haves and everybody else has not.
They own the fruit processing plant, and then everyone else works there. Right. I feel like, and the unemployment rate there is average. I mean, there's nothing. It's a little under 6%. It's very normal, so that's nothing there is abnormal. When we get into the income, the median household income here is $19,722.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know how you live off that.
Way below the $53,482 average in the United States.
That sounds a little more doable.
That's a little better. Yeah, that's much better here. The jobs here, way less, about a third of the management and finance type jobs there. A lot of healthcare support, about 5 times the average, which you'd expect with all those old people.
Yeah.
You're going to need a lot of old, healthcare practitioners and support. Firefighters and law enforcement, 0.0%. That's nice for the town. Now they use the county services, I'm sure.
Else,
more food prep than normal, that sort of thing. Production, transportation, material moving is high. Farming and fishing and forestry is high.
Okay.
So it's a rural area. It's not a place where you're going to be like, I'm going to go get my master's degree and move there and be a part of that big new tech company.
Boom.
Yeah, that's not. That's not going to happen.
Happening.
No. The cost of living here, as we do, is 100 being the average for cost of living. Here we have, it's about average. The overall is 92.
Wow.
Which healthcare is more expensive there, I assume, just because
with no money, you're supposed to try to live average spending stuff.
The housing is 64 out of 100, though, so the housing is low.
Still not enough.
It's still not low enough.
I still don't see how people can make that sustainable every year.
No, I don't either. I have no idea. The median home cost there is $119,721, which is well below the $185,000 average in the U.S., but it's still higher than you would be able to afford if you made $15,000 a year. So
you're renting.
Yeah, that seems a little odd. And if you are renting, let's get going on the Tonasket, Washington Real Estate Report. Let's do this. If you are looking to rent, a 2-bedroom apartment there goes for an average of about $726.
That's so steep.
I was going to say it's $400 less than the average, or $300 less than the average, but it is still way too expensive. I feel like
if you're making $15,000 a year minus taxes, you're taking home probably 10, 11.
It's not great.
And for $700 a month, you're spending almost your whole check on rent.
That's it. Yeah, there's no way you. Well,
you're foraging.
Luckily, that's a 2-bedroom. You can get a roommate.
There you go.
Split
the rent.
So if you have a kid,
no TV, no electricity.
Yeah, if you have a kid, go fuck yourself. I don't know. You're all screwed, I guess.
Better make that kid drop out and start working.
Absolutely. So I found a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a log cabin looking thing.
Perfect.
It's kind of neat in the woods. This is the type of place that you would see Bigfoot out the window.
Right.
It's $109,000. It's a decent price there, but it's a pretty small
still
little
over
cabin.
$100,000.
It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,250 square foot apartment or home is $179,995.
Wow, that's steep.
That's steep. I feel like that one was. I think it was close to town.
Yeah.
It was a thing. It was like right in kind of the
There's
center.
some granite in that house, though.
There has to be.
some bells and whistles you don't need.
Somebody really spruced it up a little bit. That one was for sale by owner too, so they might be pricing it a little high. Yeah,
that asshole thinks their house is worth a lot.
Yeah, if you just want to get a tent. Pitch a tent and get some land here. You can get 4.2 acres of land for $75,000.
That's excellent.
Which isn't bad.
That's great.
It's forest land and up there, and it's wet and soggy, but
if I live in Seattle, though, I'm buying that and going and building a cabin. That's a vacation home.
Things to do in Tonasket, in case you're looking for things to do. Founders Day weekend. Ooh, it's coming up. First weekend after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this on Thursday, it comes out.
2 days later, you better get your ass up there.
The Founders Day. The highlights of the weekend activities at the Founders Day parade goes down Whitcomb Avenue. Ooh, there's old-fashioned barbecue and kids games, a Tonasket Freedom 5K run, a 3.1K community fun run, a craft fair, and numerous other activities. And also what goes on there is the Founders Day Rodeo.
Now I'm in.
Boy, yeah, it's
I love a rodeo.
Includes bull riding, bucking broncos, barrel racing, and team roping.
That's a rodeo.
Team roping. You need a team for that shit?
Sometimes you got two people that chase down the calf or the sheep
I've seen
or whatever.
That, I guess. Yeah,
that's fun.
What's one cow? If you can't get them on your own, tough shit. You're
an asshole.
That's it.
Here's the other thing. It's a parade. How long could that parade be? This could only take you a half an hour to do all that shit. With nobody there, this could be great.
That's why they have barbecue. Yeah. So they'll just hang out and
old-fashioned, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, old-fashioned barbecue. I have no idea.
I barbecue all the time. Am I old-fashioned barbecuing or am I new-fashioned barbecuing?
You can just, whatever you're barbecuing, just say, I'm doing it old-fashioned. People will be like, they'll be impressed by it.
Meat on fire. That's old-fashioned.
We'll be impressed by it. Now, let's get into the crime, which is our area of interest here. The property crime, burglary, robbery, theft, is way higher than the average.
Really?
It's almost double.
Really?
Almost double the national average. So these
awesome
1,000 old people who aren't making that much money will steal the shit out of your shit. So watch out for that.
It's old people that earned to steal. That's what it is. They're like, I've been here too long. I can steal now.
You go over Grandma's house. She says, give Granny a hug, and you give her a hug, and she takes the wallet out of your back pocket. Unbelievable, man. Scary. So violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, assault is right about average, slightly lower.
Yeah.
So you're likely to get robbed, but that's about it. That's all you have going on. You probably aren't going to get murdered or killed, or you're as likely as anywhere else. Speaking of murder, let's get into murder.
I just pictured my grandma stealing from me.
I did too. I pictured my grandmother too. She's like 4'10" with an Italian accent. My Jimmy, come here, and then she'll steal my wallet. It would be perfect. I could see that going on.
My grandma's horribly German and mean.
Oh, wow.
And she would probably punch me as she stole it.
Oh, man.
I'm sure of it.
That's not nice.
Assault and theft. So.
That's good. So she'd go into the violent crime too. And then, so that would explain why that's okay. I got you. So half the old people rob you, half of them hit you on the head first. That's how it works. Let's get into some murder. Jesus. What do you say here? Let's talk about a woman named Lacey Hurst Pavick.
Okay.
She's born in 1976.
Yeah.
She is this woman.
Is Hurst a middle name, or is that a fucking hyphenated name?
That's a hyphenated. Yeah, Pavick is her married name. She's married to a man named Danny Pavick. They're both 1976. She's born. He's born about the same time. They're about the same age.
Yeah.
We're in 2008. We're going to catch up with these two.
Okay.
So they are 32 years old, 33 years old. This couple. I think Danny's actually a couple years older. It's hard to find a lot of information on Danny. He kind of receded into the woodwork in the middle of this whole thing, and we'll talk about it here.
Like the Homer Simpson meme. He's just kind of going back into the bush.
You know what I mean? it's very difficult to explain here, but Lacey is the main person we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Lacey, his wife. When you look at a picture of her, and this isn't a sexist thing or misogynist thing because this goes for either sex, you see a lot of crazy in her face when you look at her.
I love crazy when you can see it on the surface.
Yeah, you're like, oh my. Like, we've done like the Hawkins, Texas guys like that, where you're like, ooh, that's not right. This is another one where you're like, there's something wrong with her. Like, it looks like she just got mad one night and just grabbed her hair and cut it all off. Like, she looks like one of those people. Like, she's got
like a home haircut without the Flowbee, just like a
mental problems.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that about her looks. I'm just saying, like, it looks like she is disturbed a little bit. Not that she's unattractive or whatever. I'm not looking at it like that, but she's just disturbed looking, which makes her unattractive, quite frankly. If I'm fear for my life around
that
you,
was a fun little journey.
Unattractive. I did. I had.
You just ran around the ugly tree, and then you tagged it. Yeah, she's ugly.
Yeah, she is. But that's not the.
But it's
I'm
not
why.
why.
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm more concerned with the crazy. I don't give a shit what people look like. So, by late 2008, things in the marriage aren't going so well between Danny and Lacey.
Okay.
Lacey, by the way, she's just living the life. She's living in Tonasket.
Yeah.
She's married to this Danny Pavic. She's got a home haircut looking thing. She works at at an auto rental place.
Oh, she makes about $17,000 a year.
Yeah, Sunrise Chevrolet auto place, and she's just renting cars. And it's not her life doesn't seem terrific, but maybe she was happy. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Her happiness would wane though when her husband here problems arise in the marriage. And Danny Pavic, her husband, begins an affair in late 2008.
Found a lady that found a hair salon.
Yes, and I believe the thing that really angered Lacey was who he was having an affair with.
Oh, shit.
He's having an affair with a younger woman.
Yep.
She's 25 years old.
Oh, God.
Very pretty.
Yep.
Very pretty 25-year-old girl.
That'll do it.
Yeah, Lacey is not thrilled about this at all. Anybody wouldn't be thrilled with someone having an affair.
My wife is banging a 25-year-old strapping stud. I'm going to be furious.
That's not going to help.
No.
Yeah, you'd rather it be somebody lumpy and that sort of thing. But, this girl, this woman, Michelle Lee Kitterman is her name, the 25-year-old that she's...
But on the opposite end, real quick, I dated a girl who I broke up with, and then she started dating a fat, older guy, and that drove me equally insane.
Really?
Like, there's something that like, I broke up with her.
Except for age issues, I feel like.
I broke up with her, but I was kind of hoping that we would get back together, and then I saw her dating...
What the hell did you break up with her for, then?
She pissed in my bed, and a lot.
On purpose?
No, because she was just a drunk, and she always drank.
All right. Well, I think drinking is the root problem there. Not she pissed in my bed.
Listen,
She's so drunk she pissed in my bed.
She was tolerable enough to put her to bed when she was drunk, but then when I woke up... But when I wake up and there's piss all over my bed, now we've got a problem. And that just happened too many times. So we broke up, and then she started dating this fat old man, and I was just like, what the fuck kind of guy am I that's what she goes to after me?
In all the years that I've spoken to other men, which is years and years and years, and we've talked to you, people talk, oh, I got divorced, I broke up with my girlfriend. I've never heard that reason before. I gotta say, I was genuinely surprised. You could have said anything, and I wouldn't have been surprised. But the fact that you're like, she kept pissing in my bed, I was like, huh?
How old was this girl you were dating?
She's 6 and having. What are you doing, Jimmy? We got
man,
pause
she was 24.
Here. We got to talk. Wow,
23. I don't know. She was in her 20s.
Either way, she wasn't potty trained apparently, so that's a problem.
Dated a fat 40-something man, and I felt like a piece of shit for tossing this pig out.
Well, she had to find someone who had rubber sheets, so maybe he did.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I found my soulmate. She got in, had an accident, and he was like, don't worry about it. See, rubber sheets. And she was like, that's it.
He woke up and was like, was it you or me? We'll never know.
Who cares? Let's just roll in it. So Michelle Lee Kitterman is our 25-year-old girl that Danny Pavic is having an affair with.
Yeah.
Michelle works as a bartender and kind of just odd jobs, waitress and this and that. She's a young girl in a small town that doesn't have a lot of work. Yeah. So she's just trying to piece something together as far as a living goes. She has a young son. Okay. So she's trying to do what it takes to make ends meet. And she meets Danny, and they start getting friendly, and they have an affair.
Yeah.
And eventually, in late 2008, the end of December, right around Christmas, as a matter of fact, Merry Christmas, Lacey. Lacey finds out not only that Danny is having an affair with this Michelle Lee Kitterman, but that Michelle Lee Kitterman is pregnant.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
That's not good.
Not terrific.
No.
Let's just say that Lacey is not thrilled with the outcome of this scenario.
I'm sure of it.
She's pissed.
Yeah.
She wants Danny to make her get an abortion, first of all. That is her first thing.
You can't do that.
That's you can't make anyone get an abortion, first of all. But she wants
that. I think is illegal.
Yes, she wants this baby terminated.
Okay.
She said, "Do not let this girl have your baby."
Right.
But it's weird because he had an affair.
Right.
There's a period where Danny is living with Lacey and married, but seeing Michelle, and Lacey knows about it.
Yeah.
And he's deciding what he's going to do, and everybody's cool with this. They're not cool with it, obviously, as we'll find out.
But there's 58% ladies in this town. Maybe they are cool with it. Maybe
I don't
they're just
know.
Listen, I've got one.
Slim pickings.
Got one on the hook.
I don't know what it is, but it's that. I mean, this must have been torturous, by the way, for Lacey.
I can't imagine.
I mean, let's be honest here. Let's from a human standpoint, to have your partners having an affair and then get someone pregnant, and then they're not even telling you what they're going to do.
Right. They got no plan.
Yeah, like that.
Just flying by the seat of my pants in this one-horse town.
That's it. That's all I'm doing. Like, I get that. Yeah. I get the frustration here, and I understand what what the problem was, and I understand where her mental breakdown is. Problem is, most people deal with it. Right. And they move on.
And Lacey goes and gives herself another haircut.
Exactly. You give yourself another haircut, you get some Prozac, you smoke a joint, you have a glass of wine, you figure it out. Right. You know what I mean? You can't go off the reservation.
Sounds like a great day.
It really does. Now, Michelle also had other problems. Mm-hmm. She had some issues, like a lot of people in this area, and it's stereotypical, but it's true. There's a lot of meth in this town.
Oh, great.
This is a methy town. This is a rural Northwest town. Yeah. There's some meth there. It's just, that's all there is. And
Northwest
we live in Arizona.
Albuquerque.
If you go outside of the city and go find some small town, it's packed with meth.
Shit, yeah,
go to Kingman, enjoy.
That's how you forget that you live in that shit town.
Yes, that's the thing. What else can you do?
Deal.
So she begins to do some meth right around a little before that. In 2006, 2007, she's dabbling and starting to get out of control.
Oh, boy.
Right around this time, too. No word on whether Danny does this or not. We don't know that, which would also make sense if he was... That's a big pull away from your family, from everything, would be drugs. So not sure about that, but they're having an affair. She's using meth. The whole thing is getting a little untenable. After a little bit, toward the beginning of 2009, Lacey begins to make worse comments.
Uh-oh.
She's starting to act erratic all over the place, Lacey. She's, like I said, her job at Sunrise Chevrolet, she's getting poor performance, like sit-downs or talking to her, telling her your job performance is suffering.
It's fucking bleeding into her profession.
She can't, you can see it in her hair. She can't, she's wearing it on her hair instead of her sleeve.
It's written like...
You can see.
It's written like the New York Knicks in 92, right?
Exactly,
right
on Anthony Mason's head. So... Lacey begins to make comments to basically anyone that'll listen at this point, including Danny, including her friends, that she'd like to see Michelle and this baby dead at this point. Which is
you can't do that.
No, this is what I mean where you go home, you smoke a joint, you have a glass of wine,
and
grab
also
a Prozac,
chill the
fuck out.
Don't say shit like that, because if those people end up missing, guess what? You're the number one suspect. Even if you did it or not.
That's the thing. This is a girl who does a lot of meth. She might get killed anyway or might be dead anyway.
There's a lot of people in the United States prison systems that are innocent. They just fucking did something dumb that put them or said something that was incriminating. And
that happens a lot.
You need to be careful. Don't say dumb shit.
No. So Lacey begins to actually seek out how to do this.
Yeah.
She actually thinks she's actually thinking, how can I get rid of this girl?
Oh, no.
Like, that's the state of mind she's in.
So she started Googling shit?
No. She found a friend of hers through a friend of a friend thing, a meth dealer, a woman named Tansy Mathis. Who was
the most unreliable people on earth.
Well, yeah, but if you want somebody dead for cheap.
That's a good one to find, yeah.
Meth will do it.
You want a chainsaw for cheap or a dead body for cheap? Those are the people you find.
Well, Tansy, like I said, is a known meth dealer. Mm-hmm. She's got a lot of connections with a lot of scumbags because she's a meth dealer, and she can get people to help her to do things because she's a meth dealer, and she can pay them in meth.
Right.
And God knows what else.
So she told her, you want a body to disappear? That'll be $17.
$17.50. Driving a bargain. So Lacey begins meeting with Tansy. They meet in Spokane at a diner. They meet at a place in Tonasket. They meet in between. They meet like 4 times to talk about this and to haggle over price. And at first, Tansy said this is going to be expensive.
Yeah,
it's going to be like $5,000 a piece. I mean, $5,000 to kill somebody. Wow. I mean, this is you're killing someone. What are you doing here? Mm-hmm. By like the 4th meeting, I don't know if the meth supplies were low or whatever. Tansy agrees to accept $500.
That's meth math.
You'll kill a pregnant girl for $500. That's the anti-meth commercial, by the way. Don't show people's faces and
I don't want to see the teeth. I don't want to see the pock marks.
You will kill a pregnant girl for $500. Do you understand that? Would you do that now? No. Do meth for a couple of years and you will.
You will.
End of story. Like, oh shit.
I'm never touching that shit.
Absolutely not. So I'm blown away by that. So what Tansy does is she goes around and recruits a little crew here.
Yeah.
She gets together a hit squad.
So she's gonna have to break up $500 between people.
I think this is gonna go to each, and we have different. There was prices set out, but they were also negotiated. We'll get into this in a second. But the people she got were also awful. A guy named David Eugene Richards, who looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter's little brother. He looks like a scumbag. There's scabs all over his face. He's very methy.
Feathers in his hair, but it's not style. It's just because he murdered a bird in the afternoon.
Yes, exactly. But Eugene here, David Eugene Roberts, is he's like an enforcer type.
Okay.
Basically, he'll go out and beat people up for meth. That's his like. If
$13.
If you need money collected, you go get the money from that guy, and he'll go take an ice pick.
Oh, goodness.
And go threaten people with an ice pick and get the money out, and then Tansy will give him meth.
That's a
how
terrifying instrument.
Yeah, and this guy looks like that's what he does.
Really?
Everyone looks exactly like what they are in this fucking thing. That's the thing.
Right out of Central Casting, just perfect.
I've never seen another story where everybody looks exactly like they would look in your head, just in Central. She looks crazy. It looks like she cut her own hair. Danny looks like a scumbag asshole who's cheating on his wife, knocking up younger girls. All the meth people look like meth people. It's perfect. It's exactly what you want. It's a small town with meth. It's the stereotypical everything. It's amazing. Angry spouse.
Sometimes stereotypes are true.
It's true. So we also find he brings in David Eugene Richards' roommate at the time here, a guy named Brent Hollywood Phillips.
Oh, boy.
They call him Hollywood Phillips not because he's like, he wasn't like,
it's a reverse nickname?
He wasn't like a movie star when he was a child. He wasn't like on a sitcom or something.
He owns a pair of sunglasses? Is that what it is?
He grew up outside of Los Angeles. Literally. That's why they call him Hollywood. And he moved up there, and they were like, where are you from? Hollywood. Yeah. All right, then. Okay.
Where are you from? Anaheim. All right, we're going to call you Hollywood.
Let's say Riverside. Let's not give this guy he's a fucking Orange County.
Riverside.
He's from Riverside. I'm sorry. The closest he's getting to LA is Riverside here. So he comes up here. He moves in with he moved to Washington to move to Spokane with his girlfriend. Does landscaping and construction and typical shit that people who do meth like to do because it's transient. You can not show up to this job and go get another one the next day.
There you go.
It's one of those here because in 2008, right before this whole thing, he started really getting heavy into the meth too.
Perfect.
He's into meth big time, this guy. So now we have our little murder crew, our four-person.
There it is.
Four-person cabal here. Now, Phillips, the old Hollywood at the time this is going on, he's living in David Richards' home. Okay, he's provided. David Richards is providing Hollywood with housing and meth
in exchange for
Phillips to go out and be his quote tax man.
Oh boy!
Which he would send Hollywood out to go get him money.
Right.
First he was the collector. Now he's got his own collector.
Right.
He's got his own person he can pay in meth to go.
Contractor subcontracting.
Somebody. Yeah, it's incredible. So what they do here is they start to make plans. It's a plan in February. They're going to do this. They're going to take her out. They go to acquire a gun, and something falls through, and they're meth heads. So, I mean, plans can change, let's just say, when meth is involved.
This would be a great movie. This would be a great comedy that's just like bumbling, you know what I mean, where people don't
Idiots,
die.
It's not funny at all in a minute, but it's, up till now, hilarious. Hilarious until we get to the horrible part of this now. There was a plot with a gun, like I said, that fell through. Right. There's a couple other things they were trying to do. Finally, Lacey's like, look, you fucking assholes. You gang that can't shoot straight or even get a gun to shoot in the first place. Here's what I need to do. Okay, I'm going to get you guys a car. Okay? I'm going to rent you a car from where I work.
Oh,
I'm going to get it. You guys take it and figure this out, and we'll do it from there. At least that way we have reliable transportation, because that was a problem before that,
too. I mean, that's smart enough, but that's stupid. Go on.
Very traceable back to the place you work.
Right.
That's probably not the best idea.
Listen, you idiots, I'm going to do something equally dumb. You know what I mean? Like, that's what she just did.
That's exactly what she did. It's insanity. So what ends up happening here is there is some... They make these plans, and then on March 1st of 2009... Michelle's body is found.
Oh, God.
They find her body in a driveway in the Pine Creek area just south of Tonasket. It's obvious that it was a homicide. Mm-hmm. This was not an accidental death, because let's get into exactly what happened here. What they did to do this. I don't even know how to explain. This is out there.
She clearly stabbed herself 37 times with an ice pick.
You are not far off,
really?
By the way. That's the sick part here. Leading up to this, too, like, Lacey wouldn't... And we'll get into the full details of this murder. Lacey would not give it up. Like, she was trying to get people to... She was trying to get Michelle arrested. Mm-hmm. She's trying to get her arrested. She said she was apparently driving Danny's car at some point with Danny's permission, so Lacey called the cops on her. Like
to file like a stolen police.
Yes, to try to get her arrested.
Right.
She didn't want. Obviously, she didn't want. Lacey didn't want Michelle around her kids.
Also stupid though.
It's very stupid. She's leading a trail, leaving a trail. This whole thing is not well thought out by her part. She's leaving a trail and then hiring a bunch of guys doing meth.
Right.
It's not a great. Just not a great plan. Nothing she does is a great plan. So back to her meeting with all these people and planning this thing. She's telling him she just wants him to go away.
Yeah.
She just wants Michelle to go away. She wants all this type of thing. At first, the thing started out with, let's beat her up and have her lose the baby. Okay. Like the plan was like, let's throw a blanket over her and beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And beat the baby out of her, apparently.
Let's bar of soap and socks her.
Yeah, exactly. She's 11 weeks pregnant at this point.
Oh, no.
She's only 11 weeks pregnant, Michelle.
So early.
It's really early, and they're trying to... That's what they're trying to figure out.
They're trying to unsurgically abort the child.
Yeah, in a very, very violent way.
Right.
So then by late February, though, they just say... She says, no, let's get rid of her. She tells the meth people, Lacey tells Tansy, and then Tansy tells all the rest that Michelle is an informant.
Okay.
And that she is giving the police information about Tansy and all of their meth dealings.
That's a good call. That's a clever ruse.
She'll try anything.
Yeah.
She's stealing my truck. She's turning you in. She wasn't an informant at all, by the way. It comes out. Not at all.
Of course not.
No. So she rents, Lacey rents the group here, a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer. This is the murder vehicle.
Yeah.
She did it with, like, she didn't even steal it. She filled out the paperwork and everything.
Paid the money,
filled out the paperwork, did it all by the book, didn't want to get in trouble at work. Arrested, fine, but,
got to keep this job.
Yeah. So originally we go out and it's Hollywood, old Hollywood Phillips and Tansy Mathis.
Yep.
They get in the car first. They're gonna get Richards later. They're gonna get David Richards later.
Okay.
But at first they go out. They drive around. They go near Michelle's house, Michelle Kitterman's house, and Mathis tells Phillips. Phillips didn't know much of what was going on here until that day, pretty much. But he's an idiot and a meth head, and he's like, "Sure, let's do it. How much could I can get money?" Because he tells. She tells, and this is so funny too, because Tansy tells them that there's going to be money, but she said there might be money if we do this. But she's a snitch anyway, so let's do this. Like, she's trying to scam it so she can keep all the money and not have to give it to anybody else. The whole thing is like, it's insane. She tells them that it could be $1,000 just to rough somebody up, maybe $500, for anyone else who's there. And if they kill her, it could go up to $10,000.
It could be a bonus.
It could be a bonus.
Oh, this is nice.
Meanwhile, it is $500 has been negotiated.
That's all she's got.
Absolutely. But anyway, Tansy takes Hollywood out in the Trailblazer and tells him, quote, we're gonna tax a snitch. That's the verbiage that's used here.
Okay.
They go to Michelle's house.
Yeah.
Michelle knows them because she does meth. They're meth dealers. Right. Hey, it's a small town.
Hey, small town just got smaller.
I assume in a small town, if you do meth, you probably know all the meth dealers and vice versa.
Probably a pretty good assumption at minimum.
Absolutely. So now we have Phillips, Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I love calling him Hollywood.
So fun, isn't it?
Nowhere from Riverside.
It's like a reverse nickname. It's just such bullshit.
It is. What's up there, Curly?
Yeah.
It's like one of those. So
it's like it's just like a condescending nickname.
It is, completely.
Somebody fucked up, so you call him something goofy, and you just always call him that, and they hate it so much, but he's actually embracing it.
Fucking dicks. So they pick up Michelle, and they tell her, she doesn't want to leave at first, but they tell her, hey, come on, we have meth. You should come with us and hang out. And she's like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
So, you can get any meth head to go anywhere with you if you offer meth. So they are driving around. They drive to a location out on Stalder Road. It's in Republic, Washington out there.
Okay.
They stop because Michelle wants to smoke some meth. She wants to go out and...
got to get my mind right to rough somebody up.
Yeah, she's got to... No. This is Michelle that wants to go out. 11-week pregnant Michelle wants to stop and blaze up real quick.
So they picked her up and they have her in the car with them?
Yeah,
I just missed
under
that.
the promise of drugs.
Okay, gotcha.
They said, look, come with us and, we have some meth and we're going to go party and we're going to go do a couple things and we're going to be doing meth the whole time. So she was like, awesome, let's do this. Yeah, let's go.
That sounds great. I'm pregnant. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's insane. So they end up going to a casino with her. They take her to a casino. They end up coming back. they act like everything's fine, take her to a casino. They stop on the side of the road on the way back again.
This is the worst beating of all time. Like, you're taking her around to everywhere that's has the most people. Like, the casino, I imagine, is the most populated
people
place.
Are going to see you.
They're going to see you with that
all
person.
People together.
You're an idiot.
They're not. This isn't the most well thought out shit. They were like, I think she likes the casino. Let's say we're going to the casino.
There's so many mistakes being made.
There's paperwork. There's a paper trail.
I want to say a perfect murder, but this is fucking horrible.
It is sad when you see people not even be able to form thoughts enough to make a fucking coherent plan. So they go to the casino. They leave the casino. On the way back, they again stop so they can all smoke.
Yep.
At this point, out of nowhere, Phillips accuses Kitterman, Michelle, of being a snitch, and she has no idea what he's talking about, but instead also begins beating the shit out of her.
Really?
Begins beating and choking her. Gets her on the ground where he's choking and beating her.
Holy
now,
shit.
This is obviously enough right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's a small girl. She's 25 years old.
Right.
This Riverside asshole Hollywood is, I'm going to call him Riverside from now on. He's pummeling her on the side of the road and choking her and trying to kill her.
Right.
I mean, that's what he's doing. While he's doing that, Tansy Mathis comes up and begins stabbing her,
oh my God,
Michelle, in the abdomen with an ice pick.
Oh, fuck.
Repeatedly. Over 30 times.
Oh, Jesus.
Over 30 times.
I nailed it.
You nailed it.
Good God.
Absolutely just,
just hacked her up.
Hacked her to pieces with this ice pick, which is
such a menacing instrument too. It's so scary. That's maybe the weapon I'm most scared of. That thing is so scary.
And then after that, Tansy gives the ice pick to Riverside here, Phillips, and tells him to finish it like it's Mortal Kombat, and tosses.
Get over here.
Yeah, it tosses him the ice pick, and then he went and stabbed her,
God.
Michelle multiple times, and they left her on the side of the road and just drove off. She wasn't even dead yet.
Wow.
She was dying. They left her to bleed out on the side of the road.
Horrible.
Horrible. You can't get any worse than this, right? Now, as they leave, she's excited, Tansy, that she did this. So what does she do? She starts calling Lacey, which is wonderful for phone records because they're not thinking at all, these people. They think it's the 40s or something and there's no computers. So immediately after this, she's calling Lacey multiple times. They're talking back and forth. They end up bringing the Trailblazer back and trading out vehicles here. Give the Trailblazer back to Lacey after they went and cleaned it out, made sure there was nothing of Michelle's inside the Trailblazer, and then she, Lacey brought it back to work like it was nothing.
Good grief.
Right back to Sunrise Chevrolet,
there you go.
Like nothing happened. Okay,
come on down and rent a family wagon for your next excursion into fucking Washington. This is so terrible.
This is so terrible. So she's not found till the next morning. So she sat. Who knows how long it took her to die out there too. I mean, that's an excruciatingly horrible death, and this poor woman, they find her on the side of the road the next morning in front of a driveway. Stab wounds, obviously the cause of death.
Right.
Multiple, many ice pick wounds. So right away, police want to know who killed a 25-year-old pregnant girl with tons of stab wounds on the side of the road. And
even
left
the worst police force wants to know that.
Yeah, they're curious. So let's just say this. For the least.
They're on the hunt.
They're looking.
Right.
So the investigation immediately leads to Tansy Mathis and Brett Phillips. Like, it's because they were seen with her and everything else. They were the last people to know her. She hangs out with them. They showed up at her house.
Right.
They did nothing to distance themselves. After that, they end up talking to David Richards, and he says that he did own an ice pick. That's true.
Yeah.
But it had been stolen by Phillips. He said Riverside, Hollywood stole my ice pick. So I don't know what he did with it. I don't know anything about the murder because I didn't know anything about it.
Here's a question. Do you have an ice pick?
I don't think I do. No.
I owned one for a while that I had in my toolbox for like working on fucking cars and stuff.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly where it is at all times. I don't think that I've ever seen more than that ice pick in my entire life, except for on TV.
You don't just loan them out?
No.
You'd be like, hey, Jimmy.
Hey, borrow this.
Hey, next time we record, bring me that ice pick. I'm going to borrow it for a while.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. He stole it. How would you even notice that it was stolen?
Now, the only thing that is of any kind of up in the air here, we're positive from all sorts of things and testimony that Richards knew what was going on. That's why he gave the ice pick. There is conflicting reports whether he was there or not.
Okay.
He says he wasn't, But Phillips later on will put him in.
Really?
Hollywood will say he was there, and that might
Riverside.
be fucking Riverside's blowing the whole thing here. So this goes on. Finally, 3.5 weeks, this investigation goes on. Finally, March 25th, 2009, Tansy Mathis and Brett Phillips here, Hollywood, Riverside, are arrested.
Okay.
And the investigation continues, and they're looking to an additional suspect or more.
Really?
So they're looking at Tansy and they're looking at Hollywood, and they figure out Richards is involved.
Yeah.
David Richards. So they bring him in also. They talk to him. This all leads to March 31st, 2009. Okanagan County detectives arrest Lacey at her parents' home. She's not even near Danny at this point. At her parents' home for her involvement in the murder. Now, she had been a person of interest from the beginning.
Okay.
Once they started, they asked around, what's up? You know, someone dies, you try to figure out what their deal is.
She's pregnant. Who's the father? Oh, it's Danny. Oh, he's married.
Let's
and
look at
why
her.
is that bitch
boom,
moving away?
Oh, why'd she rent a car?
Right.
Who are these people?
Right.
Why were they seen with her?
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. It's
this
very
isn't so
simple.
hard.
No.
Two assholes in a recording studio can figure this shit out.
And especially in a small town.
Right.
This isn't like a big city where you can be a little more anonymous.
Right.
Everybody sees you and knows you. There's not that many people, and most of the people there are 80. So
Exactly.
if the young people, everyone notices
They're a little
them
more
probably.
frail. They can't necessarily puncture skin even with an ice pick.
Yeah. So she was a person of interest through this whole thing. They take her in, they question her. She really doesn't give up anything at all. They still book her on first-degree murder and then manslaughter charges. So she is, that's a murder for hire. You don't get any more cold-blooded than that.
They got you.
And finally at that point, they also, after they talk to her and after this whole thing, they decide, what the hell, let's issue an arrest warrant for first-degree murder for old David Eugene Richards,
Oh,
too.
shit.
Let's get Ice Pick Boy in here. This whole case, the county sheriff, Frank Rogers, said, quote, none of this makes any sense to us. She was angry over the affair. It just keeps going. Every time you turn a corner, there's something new in this case. It's like, we find this one. Oh, more meth heads.
Right.
Oh, an ice pick. And now it's an ex-wife.
Right.
This is some soap opera shit. So Phillips pleads guilty to premeditated murder in the first degree, manslaughter of a quick child. I don't know what that is. I guess under a certain amount of gestation, I don't know, in the first degree, kidnapping in the first degree, and tampering with physical evidence.
And he pled guilty to all of that.
He pleads guilty and agrees to testify against the others.
In exchange for what?
In exchange for, we'll find out what he gets for this. But it's not a real good deal for him, let's just say.
Okay. I was going to say, because you plead guilty to that.
I have no sympathy for this asshole.
You plead guilty to that. Generally, it's like life because you want to get death off the table. You know what I mean?
No. There's no sentencing deal on the table.
All right,
he's upset about the sentencing.
Really?
So we'll get into it here. April of 2010, the next year, they try Mathis and Richards together. And they are, and Phillips testifies. So Hollywood Riverside is testifying against David Richards and Tansy Mathis.
Really?
That's his deal. Yeah. Mathis is convicted, found guilty. They're both convicted, Richards and Mathis. They are found guilty of, here's Mathis's charges: aggravated murder in the first degree, first-degree manslaughter of an unborn child, kidnapping in the first degree, tampering with physical evidence.
He didn't even get a quick child.
That was Mathis. That's Tansy Mathis. She's the woman meth dealer.
So she didn't even get the quick child. She's getting straight-up manslaughter of an unborn child.
She's getting that.
And aggravated first degree. That's crazy.
Yes, and Richards gets second-degree murder and manslaughter of an unborn child.
Okay.
Now, May 11th, 2010, Mathis and Richards get their sentencing for the whole thing here. They get their sentencing. Mathis, they bang Mathis hard. Old Tansy's not going to be doing any meth in a while. She gets, on count one, aggravated murder in the first degree. She gets a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
So it doesn't even matter what else she gets.
First-degree manslaughter of an unborn child. She gets a sentence of 78 to 102 months, plus an additional 24 months enhancement for possession of a deadly weapon.
How fucked up is that? That's what they value somebody's child at, that they intend to keep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she gets 78 to 100 months.
Months to 100. That's not a lot.
Hilarious.
That's not a lot. Now, kidnapping in the first degree, she receives 51 to 68 months, plus another 24-month enhancement for the old ice pick there.
You betcha.
And finally, tampering with physical evidence, she received 1 year, which none of that shit matters because life without parole. Go fuck yourself, Tansy. Now, Richards, Dog the Bounty Hunter's little brother, his second-degree murder, he receives 165 to 265 months. What? That's his sentence for that.
Seems light.
It's like, 12 years?
Yeah.
That's
Seems
15
light.
to 20 years. That's not bad. And for manslaughter of an unborn child, Richards gets 111 to 147 months, and both of these have a 24-month enhancement for the deadly weapon.
Wow.
So that's an extra 4 years on those. So he's going to be in for a while.
He's gone.
He's going to be in
over.
for a while. And she is Tansy's
super over.
Yeah. Now they get all this so they can get all the evidence so they can go after Lacey. Because that's the main one they really want is Lacey, because none of this would have happened without her.
Right.
So she's the one paying for it.
That haircut's criminal.
Ooh, it is criminal. November 1st, 2010, trial begins for Lacey. It does not go well, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
All this evidence comes in. Phillips testifies against her.
It's got to be terrible.
She paid us this. I mean, it's cut and dry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's evidence, the cell phone records. She rented the car they used. There is no getting out of this one. So she is found guilty of all of these things, as we know, of a first-degree murder, you name it, the whole list. She basically had the same charges as Tansy, as Tansy Mathis. So November 23rd, 2010 is her sentencing.
Yeah.
Let's find out what she gets here. There was some victim impact statements, too.
Oh, no. That's the worst.
There's some rough ones here.
Those are so tough to sit through.
Melinda Kitterman, who's Michelle's older sister, just said that...
And this is all right before the judge puts down a sentence, right?
This is before the sentencing. This is brutal. She says, this is tough. She says, quote, "I will be mourning the loss of my sister for the rest of my life. Nathan, Michelle's son, will never know how amazing and caring his mother was because of the viciousness of the defendant's actions. I will mourn the loss of myself. I was born on March 1st, 1978. My sister was beaten and stabbed to death on March 1st, 2009. I will never forgive the defendant for taking my sister from my family and me." That's brutal.
On her birthday.
That's tough. And then Michelle's mother, Tracy, also made a statement, and she said, quote, "Today I am joyous there is justice, but I also have a bleeding in my heart. For the families, Lacey, your daughter will grow up without you. I do not hate the Hearst family, and I pray that I can forgive you someday." Not bad.
I mean,
about her own daughter, she says, quote, "She could have made a career in modeling, but she chose to have her son and raise him instead. Michelle was a wonderful mother, and she was head over heels in love with her son," which is true, and she shouldn't have done meth, probably. That would have kept her out of all these people's fucking little orbit, but maybe not. She might have still had an affair with Danny.
Modeling can be tough, too.
No meth in modeling.
She picked a couple of terrible things to be into, modeling and meth. That's fucking scary.
Bad combination.
Poor thing.
Lacey is given an opportunity, obviously, to speak before sentencing like they do, so you can, try to mitigate it and say you're sorry and try to show some remorse to maybe get something taken off.
Beg, for fuck's sake. Scream. Throw yourself at the mercy of the court.
"No thanks, I'm good. No thanks, gotta go.
No words.
Gotta go cut my hair. Got a little thing going on here." I
got a date with a Floby.
Absolutely. So the judge says, quote, "I don't know what to say. I don't really understand any of this. As harsh as the sentence as you received, it is nothing compared to the sentence you brought down on your family and the Kitterman family." And let's find out what that sentence was.
Awesome.
She gets a life sentence without possibility of parole for aggravated murder in the first degree, 126 months for aggravated manslaughter in the first degree. And, also, she's going to have to pay $13,992.50 to the Kitterman family for retribution. Also, $860.50 in court fees. Restitution she's got to make there. So
that is brutal.
So that's brutal.
That's a tough sentence.
They got everybody here.
Yeah.
I will say I like this. Now, Phillips sentenced later, because Phillips didn't get sentenced till after everything was done.
Okay.
So once Lacey is sentenced, then we get the Hollywood Riverside sentence. He is sentenced in a separate courtroom to 26 years in prison, which is what the state requested of the judge and to give for the plea agreement. So he gets 26 years. He was pissed. He was like, they had a whole thing.
He should be thrilled. He threw an ice pick through a pregnant woman so many times.
Yeah, but his lawyer was like, listen, he's the only one that's took any responsibility. And they're like, that's because we caught him.
Right.
Like, he did this to save, the judge said he did this to save himself. Right. And that he saved himself life without parole.
He didn't have a conscience and walked into a police station. No. They found him and were like, hey, by the way, we've already got you tied to this.
Hey, you stabbed a pregnant girl a shitload of times.
Remember you did that?
Sorry, you're not getting off on that. So June 12th, 2012 is Lacey's appeal.
Yeah.
Now, because she appealed the conviction the day after it came down, so she was right on with the appeal. She claims prosecutorial misconduct and a breach of privacy in collecting some evidence against her. She argued that a prosecutor misstated the law during his closing argument, and because the attorney told them that it's not necessary to prove intent to convict Lacey,
right?
To prove her intent, because it's not. It's conspiracy.
Right.
It's conspiracy. The definition of goddamn conspiracy is one hand doesn't have to know what the other hand is doing as long as they're both benefiting.
Right.
So that's what it is. That's doesn't matter. That's how they've convicted mafia bosses forever.
Exactly.
And that's how we'll probably end up having Mike Pence as our president. So anyway.
And it all comes back home.
The Washington Court of Appeals ruled that because Lacey was trying to accomplish the murder, proof wasn't needed. Doesn't matter. They said, quote, solely that she knew her actions would facilitate the crime of the murder. That's all they needed to know.
Yeah.
That's it. Also says she tries to complain that her employment records and car rental records were unlawfully seized without a warrant. But if the employer just gave them to the cops, then that's fine. They don't need a
subpoena for that.
No, if they broke in and took them from a guy out of his clutches, then you need a warrant. But if they walked in and said, "Hey, you got car rental records for this?" and he said, "Yeah, that fucking crazy lady. Yeah, I'm so mad she killed that. Here's the car records." That's fine. You can't do anything with that.
So good.
The appeals court basically said she did not provide any legal citations for her argument. She just said, "You were mean to me," and that's not enough. Yeah. She also tried.
You guys tried really hard to put me in jail. That's not fair.
Yes, and an unborn quick child. She tried to argue that. She tried to say that it's unconstitutionally vague, but the term is used to describe a fetus developed enough to move within the womb. Okay. That's what they use. It's an odd name for it. A quick child.
That's weird.
Super weird. But anyway, she her appeal is denied.
Good.
She can eat shit and go back there. January 30th, 2014, David Richards appeals. He argues that errors were made in the trial and the error denied him a fair trial. Blah, 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 blah. They said, court said, quote, "We find no reversible or cumulative error and affirm the conviction."
Good.
Take a hike, you dog the bounty
rat bastard.
Hunter-looking asshole. So now they're all in prison. All their appeals are exhausted and they're stuck there.
Yeah.
And after all that, I normally would never do this, but you know what? This Lacey's an asshole, and I don't like her at all. On March 15th, 2017, her grandmother died. And I feel so bad for her grandmother. I feel so bad here. Lacey's grandmother, Mary Esther Sullivan, dies at 94.
She lived to 94 years old.
Yeah,
and she got to learn of her granddaughter's terrible behavior.
And they put Lacey as one of her surviving by.
Really?
Survived by this one, and Lacey on there. Yeah. She sounded so nice, too. It said, quote, "Mary was a traditional wife and always provided visitors with homemade cookies or a slice of cake. She collected owl figurines, enjoyed finding bargains at yard sales, and learned to oil paint."
Yeah, she sounds like
a sweet old lady.
Sounds like a nice old lady.
That sounds like who you'd want to be your grandma right there. That's terrific.
Sounds like somebody you don't want to disappoint by murdering someone.
And I only say that for that exact reason. I say that to say this is the environment she grew up in.
Right.
With this nice lady. This didn't have to happen.
No.
She could have got a goddamn divorce.
Right.
And figured it out. You know what I mean?
Let him go off and be with her and pay the child support. Or
if you're going to kill someone, kill him.
Right.
He's the fucking one that made a commitment to you. This fucking woman doesn't even care or know about you. Kill the guy who said he'd stay with you and didn't.
Jesus.
Kill the right people if you're going to kill anyone, you fucking assholes. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Anyway, that is Tonasket, Washington, and Lacey and poor Michelle Lee Kitterman.
What a tale.
What a tale of mess, right?
Disgusting.
It's jealousy and drugs
and Washington mold and all of the grossness involved.
Bigfoot looking in the window while you jerk off. It's not good. I don't like it. So that is it right there. I'm happy that everyone got convicted. This is one of those cases where I'm like, everyone got convicted and everyone got harsh sentences.
Got what they deserved.
No one's getting out anytime soon. Good. I'm happy with the result of it anyway.
And Danny's out there just fucking... I mean, he's off the hook and everything.
Danny just disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny, there is no talk of him.
He's exactly the Homer Simpson in that meme or GIF. Do you pronounce it GIF? GIF. All right. I don't fucking know.
I think people do it both ways.
All right. Well, it's him just sinking back into the bush. That's all it is.
That's exactly
Goodbye.
what it is.
I gotta go.
He takes their daughter, and you don't hear from Danny again.
Let's find a hedge.
Barely mentioned in the court documents. It's really crazy.
It's crazy too, being that he's the reason all this fucking happened.
Yeah, and he's just got off scot-free.
Danny, if you listen to this, you're still a fucking scumbag.
You're a dick, dude. Yeah, you got this girl killed. You should have made your goddamn mind up and figured it out because you got this poor lady
You could have gotten in the middle of this and figured all this out. Yeah.
Well, that's that. If you like that, please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter. The sun is hot and bright. We're thrilled. It just helps us out on the business end.
I will say this, too. During this, you have perked up quite a bit. We've gotten you so awake right now.
Well, murder wakes me up. You know what I mean? I get into it. I'm in the groove.
Sound great.
I'm into it. Yeah, I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better. So, get on also, what did I say, iTunes reviews. Or we'll go.
Sorry.
It's all good. Also, too, you can get on patreon.com/crimeinsports. You can make a donation. There are tons of cool rewards there, and God, that they're so appreciated. They really keep us going. They really do. If you had any idea behind the scenes, they really keep us going. So thank you guys so much for that.
Everything else is a damn nightmare.
Yes, you can make a one-time donation at PayPal. Our PayPal is crimeinsports at gmail.com.
Right.
You can do that. And we have some awesome people who have done that this week that Jimmy has right here
for us. Some terrific people. Dale Black in Montana. I forgot to mention him last
Ovando.
week. Yeah, he sent us shirts from Ovando.
They're so awesome. Thank you so much.
I love them.
It's so cool.
Casey Yeats in Idaho, Miranda Smith. I want to say this is Ronald Johansson, RAGNHILD. Is that Ragnald or Ronald?
You're asking the
wrong guy. It's got to be Ronald, right? I don't know. Ben Gale.
I mispronounced El Dorado, so what the fuck do I know?
Ben Gale, Deidre Eichstätt. It's so... I hate German. I'm a real asshole. I try so hard. Deidre Eichstätt. James Cook upped his pledge. Lexi Nance donated, and now she has her boyfriend listening. That's nice.
Thank you.
Sarah B. Coley, Laura Steele, Louise Charlton, she also upped her donation. Ebony upped her donation.
Wow.
Charla Cutts, Carrie Carter in Arkansas, Allison Davis in Missouri, Frankie H. in the UK, and Jamie Street started a Twitter just to follow and tweeted us.
That's so cool when you guys do that.
Crime Sports and Small Town Murder.
And thank you guys so much for all your support and all your love. If you want to follow us on social media and talk to us, get a hold of us. We are at Small Town Pod on Facebook, which is facebook.com/smalltownpod, and we are at Murder Small on Twitter. You can do that and interact with us, and you want to give them your social media?
At Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
And I am at Jimmy P is Funny, and you can try to spell my last name, Pietragallo, or just cut and paste it. Don't be a hero. Do that. And, man, we're not going to stop.
No.
We're going to have more murder next week.
Every week.
More murder, more small towns. Till next week, guys. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.